Hey, Pastor Crespo here. Good morning. I'm doing a new experiment trying to live stream a short devotional. I'm getting ready to go to church and I'm going to be teaching the Sabbath school lesson this morning. And one of the subjects of the lesson has to do with John chapter 17. And in John chapter 17, it is the recorded prayer of Jesus. Now, what I find interesting about it, if I look at it here, John chapter 17, verses 20 and 21. In part of Jesus' prayer, he says, I do not ask for these only, but also for those who will believe in me through their word. He was praying for me and for you. But he says in verse 21, he says that they may all be one, just as you, Father, are in me and I in you, that they may be one in us. In other words, he prayed for us to be united. Why? Well, of course, there's blessings in unity, but it says, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. You know, one of the things that I think is lost on some of us is that we think about the importance of unity, but we forget about the importance and the value that it brings, and we forget what happens when we're not united. When the world sees the church, or in this case, church members, fighting among themselves, how do you expect them to believe that there is really a God? When they see people united together, happy, working together, finding a way even to solve their differences in a Christ-like way, that is what helps bring honor to God. You know, I think about the importance of unity, and I think about my Native American friends. You know, there's an unwritten rule, it seems, that no matter and Native Americans are just like everyone else, of course. You know, they have relationships, and sometimes those relationships, they don't always get along. But there seems to be an unwritten rule amongst the Native Americans, at least the ones I've had the privilege to know, and that is that you never criticize a fellow Native among non-natives. You don't do that. It's kind of like a mindset, you know, that the world is already looking for ways to come at you. The last thing you want to give the outside world is a crack to get a foothold in, for them to see disunity among the family. And so they handle their matters privately. But what it does, it makes them have a strong, cohesive bond, especially as it relates to pressures from the outside world. I believe that we need to remind ourselves of that as a church, that when we are fracturing, when we are fighting, when we're putting all our dirty laundry on social media, we're not doing anybody any good, and we're not answering Jesus' prayer of all becoming one. So may we all choose to be one as we go into today on the Sabbath and this week. God bless you, and have a great day.